Welcome into the ATB show. We've got Uncle Duke's back. And before we came on the air in the green room, just like when he was in high school, breaking hearts. He opens with Tiger's torn his Achilles.
He ruptured it actually, and he's already had surgery, I guess. But yeah, he's
all I could think of, and we're all huge Seinfeld fans. One of the best one-liners in all of Seinfeld is the episode where George decides that he's going to save on parking and he leaves his car at the office and it's covered in bird shit and they're convinced that he's been killed. And Jerry walks into his apartment. Now the show is old enough that people had answering machines that audibly burped into the room. And the message is, Jerry, it's Mr. Costanza. Mr. Steinbrenner is here. George is dead. Call me back. Like it was just so fast and so abrupt and it was all bad news. That was exactly what you just did to me. Like you opened with George is dead. Call me back. Like you're back. You've got your main. Is that a main lunch? I trust. It looks like a main lunch.
It is.
Or we're skating back to 1989, and that is a Boone's Apple Farm, Boone's Farm apple wine. Are you on your second lunch?
No. That's I said. No. I just got off my last meeting. No, this is a peeper. This is what they call a peeper. It's the
all right.
I said if it goes off the rails, still capped. So if things go off the rail,
if we get that, which we might. Anyway, welcome into the show. ATB at the buzzer. Rubber shoes. Like the Adam Schefter of our program, hasn't lifted his beautiful eyes to look away from his phone because he's waiting for the text. We're waiting to find out that we lost the last game of the season. We have the number one pick, and we get Abdul Carter. Probably not happening. Scotty's back from hair and makeup and being basketball dad. We have him in the man cave in beautiful downtown South Berwick, and I see an elliptical in the background.
Yeah, mid-elliptical build. We just bought a Bowflex, the M.
Do it again. Were you really itching your neck, or were you going for the flex?
No, I have an itch. No, that was an itch.
The timing was serendipitous. Yeah, you flexed as you said Bowflex. I thought it was. I thought it was product placement. You look great.
You know what?
The way.
Damn it! Now I should have taken full credit for that. Now,
yeah, you should have. You should have been like, yes, Tim, that was planned. Of course it was.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's bought an M6 thing. It's like it's relatively small, so it didn't take up a ton of space. We got rid of the treadmill. That was clearly not gaining anything but dust. And plus with the with my Achilles rupture, needed something with less impact essentially.
Yes.
And so I actually showed it to my physical therapist, like, hey, will this work? And he's like, yeah, absolutely. Go, snag it. And so it just arrived yesterday. And literally in between meetings, I have been like putting it together, bit by bit. And I'm on like step 8 so far.
Sure.
So
as your physical therapist probably said, my dad, when he had Guillain-Barré syndrome and he was supposed to keep moving because he started to lose, obviously, like the peripheral neuropathy in his legs, he used to refer to her as his physical terrorist because he hated her, because he didn't want to go. He just naturally let it all atrophy. Of course he did. Anyway, what is the line that all of our physical therapists will say to us at some point in our life? That motion is lotion. So I trust you are now going to put the game on the wall down in the man cave, and you and Uncle Al are both going to be old manning together up and down the court. You're going to play virtually.
Much, yeah. Thinking about putting it like over in this corner there because I want to be able to see the TV and stuff. So that's kind of the goal right now. But
excellent.
So it's just definitely. I've been going nuts, man. Like not being able to move and like run and stuff. I have dreams about running. It's really sad. It's like but not like running, like going on like a run. Like, hey, let's go on a run, because I've never done that because I've hated that all my life. I'm like a dwarf. I'm good over short distances, And, so it's like I dream about like there's something over there and I get to run towards it and I hurt. And there's no I'm not scared, but that's the kind of stuff.
Like the swim instructor. When does she get back? When does that happen?
She actually babysat the other night. She actually babysat the other night. I almost brought up.
My God.
The ATB infatuation.
But the call is coming from inside the house. She's now the swim instructor and the babysitter.
Yeah.
You've got Dateline written all over you, dude. What is happening?
Not good.
the patience that William Francis is exuding right now, because we haven't gotten to him yet. First of all, speaking of less clothes, more muscular and beautiful, I'm going to let you guys run with this because obviously a huge conversation around. There's a large conversation around hockey. There's a much greater conversation that we're burning cash. They threatened to burn cash, and we're burning cash. We're doing stuff at Gillette, which is
of cash.
Fascinating to me. I don't know where we want to start because we're going to touch all the bases, Rubber Shoes. So do you want to give us a quick Fenway update? Is there anything we should know? We've already covered golf. Tigers broken. Hearts are broken. Players Championship is this weekend. Players is this weekend, which is awesome. Sawgrass is this weekend. That's exciting. We can maybe make our picks around that. But is there a Red Sox update that we need to get to first?
No, well, Devers still hasn't come back yet, which I'm wondering if he's gonna be a pouty baby and not come back when he's supposed to be ready. That's the only bad news I can think of down there. I am excited for the season to start. This is I saw my brother this weekend, and he's like, I might go to opening day. I haven't felt this excited in years.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's I feel like a lot of Sox fans you talk to, it's like this is a really exciting year, and everyone's really I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. Yeah. Well, I did see the MLB Network did they're doing like the 30 clubs in 15 days, and they did like it was Chris Young and I can't remember the woman's name. I apologize, but and they talked to like Cora, and they asked him about like Devers and stuff, and he's like, yeah, we'll be fine. We'll things are gonna be fine, and we're gonna make the adjustments that we need to make, and where he plays is gonna be where he plays. It just essentially was just like, shut it right down.
And Bregman's been a good soul because there's been shots of him working at third base with Devers, and he's outwardly said, I'll play wherever the team needs me to play. And they shouldn't have to do this, but to make peace so we can get on the other side of this, and call me crazy, but I'm just throwing this out there because I feel like it happens sometimes. Do we sort of like, hey, we're taking your shirt number away from you, so we're going to cut you a check? Do we sit down and sort of restructure his money to make him happy? Do we do something else to burp the baby to get on the other side of this? Or do we just hope that he does show up and he does elect to go to DH, which to me, in the grand scheme of things, to your earlier point, Scotty, not a lot of running. Like, just sit and eat sunflower seeds, hit ball over wall, right? And then above and beyond that, actually, he's a lefty. I apologize. Hit ball into the bullpen, and then above and beyond that, let's win a championship. Like, I'm not really understanding outside of his ego, and he wants to be on the field and he wants to play where he's played. But like, this is your chance to step into the shoes of the great David Ortiz. I mean, try to, and go be that guy. You get to go be that guy, and you're healthy. You get to get there early, not because you can't run anymore. Just defensively, you're not that strong. Do you think he parks his ego, or how do they handle this?
We'll find out when he shows up, when he finally starts playing.
Well, I know that Ortiz went down and had a conversation. I don't know if you heard about that.
Did not know that.
Poppy did go down there and have a conversation with. I mean, they obviously talked, but he talked to the team as well. But he was down there, I think, specifically to kind of talk to Devers. And I know there's some people like in the media, like Harold Reynolds and a few others, have come out and be like, he's too young to DH. Just let him play third or whatever, and all this stuff. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's there opening day. I'm right now, I'm 70-30 that he'll probably be, third base. Sorry, that's what I meant by being there at third base on opening day. I don't think he's going to hold out or anything to that effect. I think he'll be there. But we'll see. We'll see to Billy's point. We'll see when he does show back up. It was funny when they interviewed Duran for that 30 and 15, or he had a cut off like Rafael Devers shirt like on, wearing that around with like Devers. It had like 11 and big smiling face on the front of it, which I thought was pretty interesting. But the season's exciting, man. Like, this is they're 8-6 now, Billy, in like the spring. They came back and beat Atlanta yesterday or something.
I don't pay attention to that because they, after the fourth inning, it's all scrubs playing. So, they can lose at the end of the game, but it didn't really matter because it's not really the players that are going to be playing. So I don't really pay attention to record too much in spring training. I mean, Crochet is a beast. It's nice to have an ace. And the thing is, this is only his second year as a starting pitcher. He was in the bullpen before that. So he says he's still trying to figure stuff out as a starter.
Yeah, and he's also not like a lefty ace that looks like he's going to fall down, by missing when he misses a meal. Like Sale was super skinny and all that.
Right.
Like he's a rugged dude. Like he's a big dude.
Yep.
Like he's a big boy. So, that's the rotation.
Kind of reminds me of Josh Beckett from the left side.
Yeah, because he's like you would say Lester, but Lester was way shorter. You know what I mean than Crochet. So, but yeah, I can't wait for the season to start. It's going to be a lot of fun.
So it sounds like there's a possibility that the Corey boys, God help Lansdowne, the Corey boys might be going to opening day. Are you and Danny I
won't be going. Him and his girlfriend will go.
Why are you not going?
I got to work.
Oh, come on. Joe and Leslie will give you the day off. Is it a firehouse day?
I don't even know.
I do not believe. We are, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to pause the program.
I'm not
so William Francis can check his
tickets. Put it that way. I'm not
Tell
paying
Danny to buy it for you. Tell Moneybags to pick it up. Yeah. I think you're going. Well, my other point is the other side of the show. I will. What day's opening day? It's a school day, obviously. So I will be here staring at that. I'm sure.
The opening day for the home opener or opening day?
Home.
Oh,
opener.
I'm talking Fenway.
Yeah.
Oh, because you don't do Fenway opening day. You do chicken and beer as game one, right?
Yes.
Different thing. We're talking about different things. I apologize. All right. So Rubber Shoes. I'm holding out hope. That Rubber Shoes is going to be the third wheel. I love this. What's Danny's girlfriend's name? I love all of this. I'm setting this up. Jackie?
Yeah.
It's like, I feel like I'm listing off the names to New Edition. Billy, Danny, Jackie, and Mike. Yeah. All right. That's happening. Rubber Shoes is the third wheel. Steph will go. Run it past the vice president of finance.
So Steph doesn't like to go to Fenway before Memorial Day.
Is it a weather thing, or does she want to know where the team stands?
Yes, she'll go for free tickets, but she's not buying tickets to go because if it's cold, she hates the cold.
And arguably, I'll give you this: it's fun. It's a holiday, obviously, across most of baseball. I think most serious baseball towns, it's a holiday. It is a Yahoo festival, though. Like opening day at Fenway is going to be filled with a bunch of people that aren't really there for the baseball. They're there because, they got Fidelity seats or something like that, or, anyway. So, all right. Chicken and beer is game one, Scotty. What day is that?
Thursday the 27th.
All right. Couple weeks out.
Of March.
Interesting.
Yeah,
okay.
Against Texas.
Okay.
So,
and you guys, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys get down there, get dinner, sleep, wake up, golf, dinner?
No, we go down, golf, and then get dinner and whatever, watch the game, because the game's not until like 8, I think.
It's not an overnight. It's a full day.
No, it's overnight. Then we we go down and we golf first, and then we'll get food and stuff, and then after that we'll
tune up a little bit.
Game, tune up, and then rack out there, and then get up the next morning, play another round, and then head back. So
it's 2 rounds of golf. I love that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
The last thing for the Red Sox, I would love to see if if for some reason Devers is on the IR or IL or whatever before it starts. I think they bring in, and I know I like Grissom. I do like Vaughn Grissom, but I think Christian Campbell has looked really good. I mean, I know Marcelo Mayer, Roman Anthony are like the top prospects, but Campbell's looked awesome so far this year, and he's a second baseman. So I don't know, just throwing that up. That'd be nice to see.
Yeah, I think he'll start.
Story at shirt and but he will. But I think it's it's pretty interesting.
Yeah,
I mean, you got like your infielders, your middle infield for the future with him and Mayer. You know what I mean? That'd be freaking. That's gonna be. Whew.
There's uniform changes, correct? They are adding. There's a permanent change with the cities are becoming a staple, correct? And they're making new cities.
Yellow with baby blue is going to be a traditional shirt now. They're getting rid of the navy blue is being replaced by the yellow, and then the new city jersey is going to be green.
Almost like the St. Patrick's Day shirt, yet not like the St. Patrick's Day shirt, correct?
Yeah, they haven't released them yet. I haven't seen them out.
Which I like. To me, I loved the rotation. Like, knowing it was a Friday, and we're all pretty aware it's Friday. We all have pretty hectic jobs. Fridays, we're all well aware when it's after 5 o'clock on a Friday. But I love the tradition of Friday night on the road. Not that I watch because I hate other ballparks. But Friday night on the road, gray pants, navy shirt. Friday home, white pants, red shirt. I just love that tradition. And then you would occasionally see it pop up elsewhere. I love that they were using the cities more and more often. I don't necessarily know if I love that they're going to become like staple because to me, they were being used frequently and definitely around Marathon Monday because the colors are the marathon colors. If you haven't made those connections at home, try harder, So it's just, I feel it's weird that we're going to make these like a staple jersey that are going to be in there all the time. And then they're going to come out with, I don't know, what are they just doing? White pants? Like white pants with this new not St. Patrick's Day shirt? I don't know that I get it. I just don't like it's an odd choice. I love Nike doing what they do, and Nike
maybe it's going to be the color. Like maybe it's going to be the color of the wall.
Oh, the green monster.
So the green monster, yeah. Maybe it'll
have all the letters and numbers look like that. The monster shirts. God, you're onto something. If they don't do that, now I'm going to be pissed. It'll be like a second ruptured Achilles on the show. Oh. Yeah, that's brilliant. If they do that, that would be amazing. That would be that we might end the show right now. That's one of the best ideas you've ever had, Rubber Shoes. That's perfect. hopefully, Cheryl scribbles this down and she sends it off to the powers that be at Lansdowne, our active listener. Anyway, all right. Is that it from Fenway? Is that all we got? We good?
Yep. Just no injuries and wait for the season to start.
Yeah. From the Bruins standpoint, because then you guys can bathe in Celtics and free agency. From the Bruins standpoint, is it not become more and more clear? Does it feel like he leaned in with concessions and the team didn't? If you heard his presser talking about our dear friend, they called him on the radio, which I thought was really funny. Sad Marchand. Brad talking about how disappointed he was that the deal didn't get done. And everybody's got their version of the truth. I get that. And it sounds like he leaned in and said, I'm willing to come this far. Can you guys meet me in the middle-ish? And they were just like, nope. They were sort of stuck on their number in their years, which is really disappointing.
Yeah. I'm not disappointed. You have to move on from these guys before they get too old and you get nothing for them and you have no one to replace them. They had no one to replace Chara. They had no one to replace Bergeron. They had no one to replace Krejci. And that's why we're not making the playoffs this year.
Yeah, no, I got you. It's more and more obvious with all of our teams. Like, just knowing right now, not to be the party pooper, but you already talked. Scotty already ruined it because he said, Tiger Woods died today. So, like Jalen and Jason, like when do they leave? You know what I mean? Like, it's just.
We've still got a ways to go.
I know, and it's also going to be annoying because which one goes first? Who's lost their step first?
But they're still in their. They're in their prime right now.
They're 12. Yeah. I know. I'm just like, I also remember watching Tiger win his first green jacket. Like, this is going to be great. Now he's falling apart.
It's right in front of the Bruins, though. I feel like too, because like Billy's not wrong, right? You let them go when it's time. With the Bruins, though, their farm system it's not great. That's the Red Sox. They don't have anybody young to bring up because they haven't I don't know if and Billy. I don't know. This might be. They've had decent seasons the last few years, so there's no like high draft picks coming in either. So it's like they're gonna have to kind of suck to get some talent in there.
So I think that they received a couple decent players in these trades. They got a ton of draft picks, but although most of them are their second round and the Marchand's not till next year. I think the Carlo's not till next year. So it's not like an immediate impact. They're making all these draft picks there. So, but a couple of the kids they got in the trades are decent. They're not, they're better than what they have in the farm. So these are guys that are probably, they can fill in on the third line. They're going to have to sign free agents. And I mean, that's getting rid of, Frederick was a free agent anyway, and so was Marchand, but Coyle was not. He had another year on his contract. So they made room to be able to sign people in the off season. I would love to steal Mitch Marner from Toronto. He would be awesome here, I think. And there's rumors, you hear the little things. It could be the team floating butterflies out there to make it seem like Marchand was not the best soldier, but I've heard rumors that he wasn't the best soldier, that he was kind of pouty and that he wasn't getting his money. And, I believe someone said they heard him make a comment to Swayman one time that I'm doing this for nothing with him getting his big payday. So I don't know. There could have been some stuff going on behind the scenes from your captain of the team too. So, they definitely look like there was something going on this year. Like they should have played better than they did.
Sure.
They had a better roster than what they played, but they never looked like they were clicking this year.
Yeah. And, everybody's like, well, he's going to come back and sign a 1 day and he will retire here. Like, nah.
No, he's gonna sign somewhere else this offseason.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like that. Oh yeah. I don't mean like he's going to go visit there and come back in the offseason. I mean, long term, he'll come back and sign a 1 day and wrap it up here, which I think he will. But yeah, where do you think he goes? If he doesn't stay in Florida, which he probably won't.
He might stay there because they're going to have some holes to fill. They have 3 major guys that are free agents this offseason. So I doubt they'll be able to sign all 3 of them, and having him fill in for less might be perfect for them.
Yeah.
It all depends on, how he clicks there. And there, which I was gonna, you got your phone handy right there, Tim?
I do. Yeah.
I just saw this and sent it to Steph. I'll send it to you on Instagram. All right, I sent it.
Okay. It's on Insta?
Yeah.
This is great radio, by the way.
This is live. Yeah.
It's a video of Marchand at the Garden in his Florida Panthers practice jersey.
How do I not see it? Oh, I don't want to see that. That's terrible.
No, I thought he wasn't playing. Is he playing?
No, I don't believe so.
He's not playing.
He was still out there during the skate.
Gotcha.
Ugh.
It's gross. It's gross.
Yeah, it's gross. All right.
So I played hockey this morning. I wore my Marchand jersey and I had 4 goals. So he gave me a little magic.
Oh
today.
Boy, little juice, little juice. Aiden had a Marchand jersey that he outgrew, and Nana Lindsay just got him another one for Christmas. And as soon as the deal went down, he just sent the picture. He's like, God damn it.
That's nice.
Yeah. Oh well. That's fine. Talk to me about Hauser. That was
awesome.
Unbelievable.
So awesome. I was going nuts last night, man.
Unbelievable. And when he was vibing and he's running past the scorer's table talking to Scal, he was feeling it. I mean, crazy.
You get in the zone, basketball, we've all been there,
I haven't, but anyway, tell me more about it. Yeah. Billy grew up with me. I've not been in the zone.
But you get hot, man. You get there and you get hot, and the basket looks enormous, and you just everything seems to go in.
Throwing it into the ocean. Yeah,
even if you
crazy.
miss, it doesn't matter. It's just like you're still feeling it. And
the one where he checked up and he was 3, and then he stepped in and he was like, oh fuck it, and he stepped back.
He stepped back for that 3.
I think his math was in his head. He's like, oh, I'm doing something crazy. I'm going to step back for the 3 on this one.
No, I honestly don't think that was the case. I think he knew what he was doing. He wasn't taking no two. He knew that was a step back tray, man. Like he was feeling it. It was awesome to see the depth of the Celtics the last couple of games. The last obviously we'll talk about the Lakers game in a second, but with when they sat a few guys and obviously Tatum, who hates to sit, they kind of forced him to sit, because he does need some time.
Pritchard had that monster night. Like they're
Pritchard
all
and White. Each had 40.
Yeah, that was crazy. Yes.
On last Wednesday, I think it was. And then obviously, Sammy going off for, tying a Celtics record for 7 threes in a quarter. It was just so much fun to watch. I was actually hoping he'd break the record, but Jaylen Brown, it opened up and he just drove to the rim.
Yep.
Late in the third quarter, I'm like, kick it out, but he didn't do it. But that's all right. But no, it's the depth, and it's amazing to watch when you can go, 7, 8 deep and be fine without, like your superstar and stuff. I mean, they played Utah. Utah's garbage, but and they're also a bit banged up. But the one thing I will say before we jump into the Lakers and stuff is the Porzingis. Did you guys see the Porzingis tweet last night?
Something viral, right?
Or it was a tweet or some social media post.
Yeah.
There's some kind of a undisclosed illness he has. They actually can't figure out what it is. And it's some kind of an illness, and he's hoping to be back soon. He said he's starting to feel a little bit better, but it's like the weird thing is like they don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Like, they don't know what it is. And I'm
so
like,
not flu, not COVID, not this, not that. Like that's sort of freaky. Yep.
Yeah. It's like, I think I'm allergic to the last few games itis of the regular season itis, so and get ready for the playoff itis, so, and I'm fine with that. But
honestly, if that is just medical load, the load management, yep, you're just really sick.
Yeah. I mean, that's why they Al didn't play a bunch in the first, 40 something games anyway, and he's playing a lot more. And now let's talk about the Lakers game, because Tatum was MVP like in that game, but Al was, I don't know, I want to say unsung because I feel like people were talking about it after, but the way he played defense, and the switching and everything that he did, especially at the start of the second half, he played so well. And of course the dunk and the, knocking Luka down after the dunk was just magic. It was a lot of fun to watch for those guys. But yeah,
I'm surprised that didn't turn into a T.
It shouldn't have. Luka walked into it.
Yeah.
He dunked, swung back.
All right. And then, come back here. Come back.
I don't.
Come back. Come back to me. It's the fucking Lakers. Like I was only surprised for that reason because it didn't. I don't feel it looked intentional.
The refs did pretty good. They, all the
outside of one call, but go ahead.
The LeBron flops, and like he got punched in the face. He didn't even touch him.
Shot. That was 6'4" from the book depository in Dallas. That was a shooting. Somebody actually said in the comments on one thread I saw, they're like, Kennedy's head moved less than that. Back into the left. Into the left. I mean, he's and I threw it into the group chat. That's why he will never be the GOAT. Not that singular thing, but those are the bullshitteries. Because back, and here we go. Here comes Grandpa. Grab my cane so I can wave it at the clouds. The basketball that we grew up watching with, it was like Sharks versus the Jets. Everybody has switchblade. If you're bleeding, it's still not a foul. Michael would have never done that. Well, Michael would have stolen the ball from Tatum. But anyway, Michael would have never done that. Would have never done the I just got shot in the face reaction. And they played it like it was just, it's so, and then I'm sorry. That double move he made, and he claims he pulled his groin. Nope. You knew you were losing the game, and your ego didn't want to be on the floor anymore. And you left your teammate, who you together have been Batman and Robin. You've been invincible. No, you got grounded. You were put on notice with the rest of the league, the Celtics, and I was the one bitching, and I'm back. We're just sort of hanging out, waiting for the season to start. And I know I bitched all year, like, what are we waiting for? Where's Unlocked Tatum? They were out of their mind. And they could have had 2 more star players on the floor. And it wouldn't have mattered because the Celtics were tenacious. The steal, Jalen's steal on Luka. Yeah. Those are the moments I'm like, oh, we're lighting the universe on fire tonight. Yep.
Yeah, after the BS tech that he got too, that was like I knew he was gonna like yell when he dunked that ball when he got that steal because the tech was ridiculous. The technical foul that he got was because the foul, that offensive foul they called was just complete bullshit. And I turned the volume up a little bit to listen to the broadcast because it's so hard because the ball washing of the Lakers is just so hard. And Doris Burke, I try really hard. Adam, I'm sorry, buddy. I do try to listen. I do because, she's a female and she talks about basketball. But I do try, buddy. But it's just I can't get there with her. She drives me.
I'm surprised she has time to wash other balls. She's marching around with a huge set. I mean, it is not enjoyable. The ESPN crew, you knew exactly what you're going to get. And all of this is prefaced, and I think I speak for the three of us. It's amazing what he's doing at his age. And he is one of the greats.
Oh yeah.
He is not the GOAT. The whole thing he's done right now to create this, father son, like this whole season has been a little bit of a sideshow. And and you've got Stephen A. Smith and some other people that are just like, you're probably looking at a finals preview. Like, God help me. God help me. I need Oklahoma City to figure it out and make sure that that's not a thing, right? Anybody but the Lakers.
Yeah, exactly. Well, maybe, but I'll let Billy go. And then I wanted to bring up one other thing about Stephen A. But go ahead.
No, I got nothing to add except I did watch.
Oh, sorry. I thought you looked like you were going to say something. I'm sorry.
I did watch Celtic City.
You're caught up. Okay. Yeah. So how many people have watched episode 1? Are we at least episode 1?
Yeah, that's the only one that's been out, right?
Yeah, I think it's tonight. Yeah. I'm walking into this one because I know I'm going to hear from Kaylee after I say this out loud. I got confused. It's the senility, I'm sure, which is lovely. I'll show you around when you get here. It feels like there's been this huge gap. I'm like, didn't episode 1 come out a while ago? But I guess it hit last Thursday. Week. Was it Thursday?
No, I think it's every Tuesday. I thought it.
Oh, okay. So it's tonight. Okay.
I sent the text. Yeah. I watched it like the
night
that it came
I thought for sure episode 2 had already hit. So over the weekend, I went to fire up episode 2, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, we're not even there yet.
Yeah.
So, which I appreciate them dragging it out. I also am a big fan, which I probably would have done with this just to annoy you guys. I would have waited 6 years. I'm joking. I like also letting the episodes just sort of stack like bottles of wine in your basement, and then you can just go you can go rush them. Okay, so it is Monday night.
Oh, there's a new episode tonight?
Okay, it's Mondays.
Out?
Okay.
March 10th, yep.
Okay. Yeah, episode 1 was so good. It's going to be so cool to watch this. This is one of the greatest genres, I think, of our generation. I don't know if I'm saying the right thing here. I think the sports docu industry is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing. And the fact that you've got big financial dicks swinging like HBO/TNT, they're all in the same bed. Warner Brothers fighting with ESPN 30 for 30 and bigger specials. Netflix. Fighting with Netflix, who I think they're the king right now. Netflix
Have you seen Full Swing season 3 yet?
We have not started it yet. The wife and I are sort of letting that marinate.
I finished it. It was glorious. It was so good, dude.
We're super excited about it. I think Netflix has figured out the recipe, what they've done, because I'll always turn to Janina when we're watching these things, and I'm always just like, the writing's so good. It's like, it's not writing, it's production. I'm like, yeah, I forgot. Like, it's not writing. It's the way they produce it, the way they go. If you watched any of Wrexham, which is amazing, the soccer club with Ryan Reynolds and
I haven't seen that.
Dude, you'll love it. There's an episode about fathers. Best of luck. I know Rubber Shoes and I couldn't get through it. I didn't. I was a puddle. Wrexham was really good because they would do it where it's just like it's mid-game and right as somebody's kicking to score a goal, and you're suddenly in their kitchen with their wife and their kids, and they tell that whole story and then go back into it. And their production's been amazing. But I think Netflix really has the intangible on making the emotional tie between the sport and the story. The docu-series generation that we're living in right now we'll be clicking past something and we'll go past network television. the 8 to 8:30 on ABC, the Connors or something. And I want to be like, who the fuck is watching this? Better yet, who's recording this and watching it later? Like, what are you doing? Read a book. Who's watching network television with canned laughter?
Yeah,
but it's out there and people are watching it, and it's fascinating to me. Fascinating. Anyway, rant over for now at least. But yeah, the Celtics thing is going to get so good. So good.
The thing with the first episode, how have we not we've been around for so long, and that team has been, retired for so long, that all the footage that they had that we've never seen, it was unbelievable. Like watching Kuzi and Russell, after I watched that episode, I said, you know what? I think I got to move Russell up to the higher in the conversation of the GOAT. I mean, he was so athletic, and he changed how the game was played back then. I guess the only thing you could say is that there was only 6 teams back then, so that's the only thing. I mean, he dominated Wilt Chamberlain, and just
I'll say this: you got to see if you want to see a lot of that footage, or even some more. They definitely had better footage, I would say. Dog and teenager.
I love it. He's tall. He's already taller than you. Is my favorite. It's a favorite. His best
he's not. He's not. No, Logan is. Logan
please.
But anyway, but go see Celtics Lakers best of enemies. It's a 3-part series, and
what's that on? Which
you can watch it on Netflix. Actually, it just came on Netflix.
Delicious.
It's from like 2012, I want to say. But it's very, very, very well done. The first 2 episodes, the first one especially dives a lot into that first episode that the Celtic City did. And it's very, very well done. They talk about George Mikan. They talk about, obviously, Russell, a lot of the race stuff and that was going on and things. Yep. And, it's really, 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 really well done. So I highly recommend that. But yeah, Russell was an absolute beast. I mean, an absolute beast at like 6'10" on his best day, against Wilt Chamberlain, who was 7 feet 7'1", you know what I mean? Like, he was a beast. Yep. So yeah, Russell could jump out of the gym. That's why he was, it was either basketball or like the Olympics, essentially, for like, long jump and stuff. Which is just wild. But it's really cool. Kuzi, I got a lot more respect for during the Celtic City, I would say, only because
I didn't know Kuzi didn't speak English. That was interesting for me.
Yeah,
he's such a masshole. He's like, so we don't go off of beers. Like, everything is just. He's got like chocolate melting marbles in his mouth. Every sentence, right?
And he's got like, could someone brush the crumbs or whatever's on his chest?
It was really critical that I got the ball. Like, oh my God, dude. Oh my, and that was God help us, as far as we know, that was sober. He reminds me of, and I think Rubber Shoes met my Uncle Dickie at one point. Sure, Sheryl's brother. My Uncle Dickie was, stone sober as a judge, incoherent. Like, it was just this whole different language. And then you get a couple of cockteenies, and it was just like, it was just a run-on sentence. Yeah.
Celtics is amazing. Really excited to see, where they go with it, especially they've already shown scenes of like they're interviewing Patino and stuff. So I'm excited that they're going to go through and, get to the 70s, which they started to touch on, I think, at the end of the first season. So then you'll, you go to Cowens and those guys, and then go from Cowens to, obviously the 80s with Bird and them.
Oh God, the fights. There better be a whole episode about the Lambia punch. You
got to talk about the 90s. You got to talk about, obviously the tragedy with Reggie Lewis, but then you got to talk about, like, you guys drafted like Vitaly Potapinko, I think, or whatever it was. Like, you drafted AC Earl, Eric Montross. Like, wasn't a lot of great picks there. And then of course, when the Chauncey Billups started, like, you had Chauncey Billups and Ron Mercer.
Did you just badmouth Eric Montross?
All that.
Are you handing in your jersey? You just badmouth Eric Montross?
Who? He didn't have a great NBA career. He was a great Tar Heel, and I will never rest in power, my friend. All right,
rest in power.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
I was so happy when they drafted him. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, I was too, dude. I was over the moon. I'm like, this is a perfect fit. And he just and he made what, all rookie second team, I think his first year, or as a rookie, and then it just started just went downhill.
That was the team, of course. Rubber Shoes knows Kelvis from the neighborhood. Kenny Shaw, we used to call him Kelvis because his hair looked like Elvis, and Kelvis spent he was a military brat, and they did a huge stint in North Carolina, so he was a huge UNC fan, and we had a massive bet, and that was when Billy Curley, shocking white kid at BC, led us to the Elite Eight, and we beat North Carolina, and then where are we now? Oh, that's right, on the outside looking in. Anyway, that was fun way back when. Yeah, back on the day, 31 years ago. 31 years ago, it was great. It was wonderful. It was wonderful.
Shock everybody. ACC tournament Thursday. Come on, you can shock everybody.
We're not going to shock anybody. And I want to, as you would say, I want to go ahead. I want to move on. I love Earl Grant. He's not the guy.
No,
he's not the guy. We gotta make a change there. But we'll talk more about that. We can discuss our picks for next week because we'll have time. I think Corey said one of you needs to go on ESPN and build a little bracket so we can all jump in and make our ridiculous picks.
Yeah, I can do that. I'll set that up.
Perfect. We'll do that.
Yeah, absolutely. But with the going back to the Celtics and the Lakers thing, I will say the one thing about Stephen A. Smith, obviously there's a big to do with him and LeBron and stuff like that. And all
that was crazy.
It was nuts, and I get where LeBron's coming from.
I do. As a dad, yep, I get it. Yep.
As a dad, totally get it, 1,000%. And I appreciate Stephen A. coming out after the fact and talking about it. But I don't know if you noticed, like during halftime, what's his name, the douchebag who does not belong, Bob Myers does not belong on the set of ESPN. I don't know why he's there. He sucks. He got gifted the freaking Golden State team. So anyway, he's over there talking about how, oh my God, LeBron, he's still 40. Look, I can't believe he's doing this, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Stephen A. was basically just jumps in and he goes, okay, yeah, we talked about that enough. Can we talk about Jason Tatum and this half that he just had? Like, just totally, like, just dropped it. Like, just shut the hell up about LeBron already, And it's funny to hear it kind of from him because he does, follow the line a little bit in regards to ESPN and all the Lakers, and they constantly talk about them, as Barkley mentioned, and threw Perk out under the bus, which was amazing. But yeah, so I think
her comment.
What's the latest with wrestling? Did I miss
Kaylee
that?
Just jumped. Well, last week she wrote unsubscribe when Rubber Shoes was talking, and she was asking. She's like, "What's going on with that?" And I'm like, "Oh, Rubber Shoes is knee deep." I said, "Rubber Shoes," and one of our other friends from the neighborhood.
I don't even know
go with their sons. We'll go with their sons to wrestling, and she's like, "Is he getting all dressed up?" I'm like, "He does the face paint." And then I'm like, "No, he doesn't." She goes, "I think he does."
I could see that.
She wanted the wrestling update. She's joking, I assure you. She doesn't
by all
wrestling
means.
Update. By all means. Yeah, it was funny when he did make that statement. I loved it, and then you're sort of like, would he have done that if he didn't get excoriated on the court in front of everybody? Exactly. So you're wondering. And at the same time, we have discussed ad nauseum that he's 68 years old. Cool, got it. Tatum just played out of his mind.
Right.
Like, we're allowed to start passing the torch because it's getting passed.
Yes, we are.
The torch is getting passed. Yes. Yeah.
So you said, "Oh, I'm a son. I understand how." Well, you know what? I mean, you're a father. I'm a father, and I would have never put my kid in that situation to where he's gonna fail.
Stephen A. Smith was making that very point on Get Up the next day. Because of course he addressed it the next day, and he's like, my comments that involved Bronny were about what LeBron did to set him up for failure.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm going to drag you into the ether that you should not be playing against men that are not boys. And he was, he got the attention in high school because he is who he is. And he did not start as a freshman at USC, which is not an impossibility in college basketball. What's that kid's name? Oh, that's right. Cooper Flagg. Like, if and USC's not Duke. USC's not Duke, and he couldn't even start at USC. So should he have been dragged into the NBA? No, that was all Wikipedia building for LeBron, which he's allowed to do whatever he wants. And Adam Silver and the Lakers signed my son, or I'm not coming back. They all kowtowed to it, so they get what they deserve. And I hope that doesn't mean they somehow sneak in with crazy Luka luck into the finals in the end. Again, if I didn't say it loudly earlier.
Number 2 in the West, but the West is loaded, between Denver, Oklahoma City. Like there's a lot of talent out there.
Yep.
And obviously health will be a huge factor going into the playoffs and stuff for them. But yeah, I mean, if it is Celtics Lakers, I'll be thrilled. I'll be honest with you. I would be over the moon because that's how it should be.
To beat Luka 2 years in a row.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, and doesn't matter where you hide.
It really doesn't. And honestly, Luka's got to look at Jaylen Brown at this point and see the boogeyman. Like he's got to be terrified because he destroyed him in the finals. Then and just absolutely just D'd him up and locked him down, when he needed to in that game. And and Luka made some great shots. I'm not saying he kind of turned it around, I'd say, in the second half, like late in the second half. The game was already out of hand at that point. But
LeBron had already decided the game was over.
He did, yeah. He left.
Yeah, he pulled his groin. Yeah. As my father would say when people were leaving the field, sometimes he'd be like, his feelings are hurt.
Yeah.
There's no stretcher for that. Yeah, there's no stretcher for that. Just
1,000%.
He's a clown show. As great as he is, it's those moments that he's not epic. And everybody can argue about whether it was a flu game or not. Like that's. But we're bringing it up, and it's well after it happened, like the MJ flu game. I'm gonna play no matter what. I'm gonna show up, and I'm gonna win, or I'm gonna be the impetus for why we won. And he just folded, and he's like, "Well, I'm gonna leave you out on the floor. I'll let you take the L at the Garden. I'm not willing to do it." Right. Because people talk, and they were talking about pregame. I'm so tired of this. They're talking about just like, his general disdain for Boston. And when he comes here, every city he goes to, he always picks a nice restaurant to take his local friends to, or some of the teammates to. And he never does that in Boston because he doesn't like the city and doesn't want to be seen in the city, which is actually bullshit because he does usually hit the north end. But all that aside, the
part owner of the Red Sox, so that makes sense.
Yeah, Fenway Sports Group, right? Like the challenge, and this came up, and I was like, God, I hope what I just heard doesn't piss me off for episode 1 of the Celtics docu on HBO, and it was the comment that they touched on the busing and the racism. It's part of the story, it is. But for LeBron to reference that when it's appropriate, which it will come up at some point. Because there's going to be some moron that says something stupid during the playoffs, maybe the finals if they get here. We always seem to uncover one asshole that throws a water bottle at somebody or drops a racial epithet, which is not amazing, but they almost conjure it up because they have stamped us with that, which is a disservice to everybody in the city.
Yes,
that isn't that way.
They say it's so bad here, but when they went down and played in Kentucky, the black players didn't even play because it was so bad down there. And that great story, the Koozie said with that him and Satch, they went into the restaurant and they had to use separate bathrooms. So they said, you know what, we're going to pee with who I want to pee. And they went outside and peed right on the front doorstep. That was awesome.
Yep. Well, and the friendly reminder, oh God, LeBron's on TV. The friendly reminder to the team that broke the color barrier with the NBA. Is the Celtics. The team that broke the color barrier in the NHL, the Bruins. Yep. With Willie O'Ree, number 22, by the way, which I absolutely adore. All right, bow on that. Are you guys going to convince me that we're burning cash and the Patriots are going to be great again?
I don't think you have to be
convinced.
Oh my God.
They're burning cash. I mean, they've spent way more money than anyone else, like by a lot.
I'm going to get Adam a mega hat. Careful. That was an M. A mega hat. Make Gillette great again. You think you'll wear it? It'll be Patriot blue. Okay, not red pill red. I'll get him Patriot blue. That way maybe he'll wear it. Make Gillette great again. I think Adam will love it. It'd be great. Talk to me. Read me the board. Read me what we've already bought and why I should be so excited. Come on.
All right.
I'm honest, because I'm full Yahoo. I was bitching the other day. I'm going to be full Yahoo. I'm not coming at this pragmatically or with any critical thought. I'm just a Yahoo that's pissed that we don't have a wide receiver. I'm a Yahoo that's pissed that we didn't fail and lose game 38 of last season and set ourselves up to grab whoever we wanted.
Yeah. Yep.
Like it's all of that's annoying, but here we are and we're spending money. So talk to me. Tell me why it's going to be great, Scotty.
I think it's. I mean, defensively, which was a massive hole last year, right? And obviously, they had some injuries on that side of the ball, but not enough to be as bad as they were, and they were really, really bad. Like Jawan Bentley was obviously a huge loss and things like that, and Christian Barnmore. With the blood clot thing, you never know what's going to happen there. So they went out and signed the best defensive tackle that was on the market, and potentially in some markets, some media folks said it was the best free agent that was out there, which is Milton Williams, right? So they brought him in. That's a massive deal.
Big deal. Yeah.
I love Spillane, the linebacker from Vegas. Huge fan of that. Love bringing him in.
The corner from Detroit is huge. Right.
Oh, Grumpa Lindsay. I love Grumpa Lindsay. I like that name. Kaylee, we're going to hold on to that one.
Simmer down. I will. I was going to say I'm
going
to slash her. I was going to say I'm going to slash her tires, but it's a little too soon because she just sent me a private message about some activities we had in our parking lot today, apparently. So that's not great. But anyway. Oh, yeah. Apparently we got some people roaming around Portsmouth doing some shopping in our parking lot.
Oh, that's weird.
So I got to roll back and make sure my car's still there. It's there. I don't know if I have 4 wheels still, but Yep.
They also brought in Tonga, who was on the Cardinals, big dude for a defensive tackle, 338 pounds, like absolute monster. Not Ted Washington monster, but he's a filler, man. He's a gap filler. I already mentioned Spillane, Harold Landry. The Landry thing actually was surprising at first because I thought the money was a little bit much, and then obviously he was a variable guy. So I'm like, is this what's going to happen? Is Mike just going to bring in like his
stack the deck with his people, right?
Yeah. And then he obviously went out and got Carlton Davis, who I like. There's the knock on him is that he is a bit injury prone and can be, and he will give up a big play here and there, but it's either him or Gonzalez you're going to throw at. Like, that's fine. I'm fine with that. Like, I think it's a really good deal to bring in. And so defensively, they made a ton of upgrade. And then they brought in Morgan Moses. There we go. I forgot his first name. Moses, and then Mac Hollins, the wide receiver as well. And then re-signed Austin Hooper. So they spent a ton of money yesterday. Haven't done anything that I've seen today. But there hasn't been a lot of big moves. Obviously, tampering opened at whatever it was, noon yesterday, and everyone went nuts. But it's interesting that they've been focusing so much on. Really, the thing is for me to try to convince you how well they're going to be. They're so focused on the defensive side of the football. Does that mean like they're going to be very offensive side of the football when draft day comes? Right?
Yeah.
What does that mean? What does that look like? Does that look like, that they're going to go out and get the running back from Boise State instead of, and shock everybody?
Aiden will lose his mind.
Right?
Aiden will lose his mind.
Who? I'm sorry?
Aiden will lose his mind if they grab the kid. Oh, my God. He's so good. Yeah.
He's so
Jonty,
good.
right?
So good.
Jonty? Yeah.
And,
he's awesome.
And he would shock. They would shock everybody. You know what I mean? But, or do they, if does Hunter fall to them? Who knows? Like there's so many things that could potentially happen at their spot. But is that going to be their focus in the draft? Is going to be on the offensive side of the football because they want to stay young on that side, right? Because they have a young signaler and a young, what I mean? Like maybe that's what they want. I don't know, but they spent a ton of money. People wanted them to spend a ton of money, and the last time they spent a ton of money, it was on the offensive side, right? Where they brought in guys and it didn't really work out.
Right.
And so I think this year it's interesting to see. One, I'm happy they didn't trade a second round pick for DK Metcalf. I like DK Metcalf a ton. I don't think he's worth a second round pick, especially where we're going to be picking. So, Pittsburgh, more power to you, go for it. That's fine. Obviously guys got taken off the board.
But they're talking about bringing in Old Man Winter. Steelers. It's like on the table about Aaron Rodgers, which is really interesting.
Antonio Brown's announced that he's already signed there. Apparently, I don't know. I'm not listening to it.
Although, what's really going to be really interesting. Side note: before you get back to your update, there's a possibility that we get a reincarnation of Brett Favre because he could go Packers, Jets, Vikings. There's still a hole with the Vikings, right?
Yeah. Well, JJ McCarthy.
Yeah, I don't think that. If they do that.
Well, they might bring him in to help JJ McCarthy, help McCarthy get ready, right? Get right, coming off the injury. Who knows? Do you think they just launch him and throw him into the fire?
Well,
I think so.
Rodgers doesn't help people, so.
I didn't say he did, but it'd be fun to watch. I just want, it's Heath Ledger and Batman. I just want to watch the world burn. That's all. That's all I got. That's all I got.
Especially when it comes to Rodgers, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly.
The thing is, with all the quarterback moves that happened yesterday, I think there's possibility that 2 quarterbacks could go and before us. So that might put Hunter and Carter back in play with us.
Well, but now that we've got the kid from the Lions, I don't think we go after Hunter, because Hunter in most programs is going to go as a corner, right? He's not going to. Would we bring him in and suddenly make him a receiver, which really isn't where he leans? I think it's Abdul. It's got to be Abdul, and that would be nasty.
Well, if the choice between the two, I would take Carter, yes. But I wouldn't be so dismissive of Hunter, because if you had, let's just say you had Hunter plus Davis plus Gonzalez, like your secondary right there is just, you know what I mean? Like you just gave him $60 million, but put him as a slot, the best slot corner in football with Carlton Davis. You know what I mean? And you had Hunter and Gonzalez as your outside or whatever. You could figure that out as you went. Plus you would
good problem to have. Yes.
A half dozen per week, half dozen plays on offense for Travis Hunter on offense. You know what I mean? Like that would happen. It just would happen.
Sure. Sure.
And so, yeah, that's the thing, you'd look at it that way, but I wouldn't to be so dismissive of him at all. Like not even close, but there's still so many guys out there. And what I was saying earlier was about, there's a lot of guys that came off that said they wanted to trade, like Myles Garrett and Max Crosby. And then they got brought back because they, got their bags and stuff. But so it was a crazy couple of days in the NFL, from Sunday to late afternoon Monday. It was nuts. And honestly, I think, the Pats are looking much better than they were, before the free agency started. So, I'm nowhere near ready to give predictions or anything like that, but
defense I'm really going to be nasty, but
really happy with what they did.
So I got a question for you guys. Do you think with the signing of Dobbs that makes them gonna trade Milton?
That's what they're looking to do. Yeah. But they're looking for it. I think that what they're trying to do is look for a place where he can continue to grow, like that his NFL journey can continue. That is the word coming out. They just don't want to trade him to somewhere that he's going to be like a bench player or whatever. He'll never see the field. He wants to go. They want to trade him somewhere that he's going to continue his NFL journey, because they feel that obviously Drake's the guy, right? Drake's the NFL quarterback for the Patriots for the future, blah, whatever. So, and I think when it gets closer to draft time, I feel like you'll see something, and they'll move him somewhere. But I think it's going to move him somewhere where, maybe it's like, I know Cleveland just traded for Kenny Pickett, but maybe it's like a Cleveland situation, or maybe if Cleveland gets Kirk Cousins, because they're going to, cut him. I believe Atlanta will be cutting him pretty soon. Stuff like that, wherever like there's a vet that's going to go somewhere that he could potentially back up and take over, so we'll see.
All right, my prediction is the number 4 in Milton to Tennessee, so we can get the first pick and take Carter.
That's a lot to take in. That's what she said.
I've never heard that. I'm gonna go with just because he's a Florida kid. I don't know how he gets there. I think he ends up in Jacksonville.
Yeah, but they have Trevor Lawrence.
Okay. Yeah, I still think he ends up in Jacksonville.
And they have Mac Jones.
Where all of our quarterbacks go to die. But he'll win the series. Oh, he's already out. Well, you're making my point. Yeah, I think he goes to Jacksonville. Just a guess.
I mean, if we get their draft pick, I'll take the draft pick.
Yes.
First round.
Sure. Yeah.
I'll be fine with that.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I'm fine with that. The Dobbs thing was really weird. When I saw that, I was like, they have to be They have to be doing that. By the way, is anybody? Let me ask you guys this question: anybody scared that Justin Fields went to the Jets?
No, you know what?
Say that with a straight face.
I know. I've mentioned him before. One of our great agents who's over here on the west wing of my building came in the other day, and he was just talking because like he rolled in and he had like brought in his whiteboard with everything because he's a maniac like you. And he had like everything that happened and all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, I said, you got to prepare me. I said, Scotty's going to update me. I said, but give me the dope. And he's like, bum, 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 all this stuff. And he goes, yeah, he goes, did you see Fields to the Jets? He goes, my prediction for 25, the Jets will jet. The Jets are going to jet, which I was like, yes, it's a verb. Like they're just going to find a way to fall apart. And I'm excited for one completely, it's divorced from anything that really matters for us. I want the Jets to fall apart. Woody Johnson's not going to sell. But if you're a fan of Gary Vaynerchuk, he's awesome. And he desperately wants in, if not to buy the whole thing outright, which obviously is going to take a few more shekels than maybe he's gathered in his popularity. I would love to see that opportunity for him and just have somebody else driving. Obviously it's the Johnson & Johnson family. They make baby powder and own football teams. So I don't think they're stepping away because they've had a handful of bad years or a lot of bad years. Or
a handful.
Yeah. I'm being polite.
Why would you want them to get a new owner and try to be better? Like,
because I'd like to see. Because I just think Gary V's a great personality. It'd be good for the sport. That's all.
Let him go by San Francisco.
He won't be doing that.
Oh, what a shit show that is, huh? Oh my God, they've just decimated. They just released their second sack leader there. I'm blanking on his name right now, but they just dropped everybody. I mean, obviously they trade Debo, Juszczyk's gone. They've traded like so many people. I mean,
where did Juszczyk go? Where did he go?
They just released him. He hasn't gone anywhere yet.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah,
because his wife's the one that makes all those.
Landry. They just let Landry go. But they've lost Deebo Samuel, Dre Greenlaw, who's a stud, the safety Hufanga, Javarius Ward, one of the better cornerbacks, guard Aaron Banks, their tackle Jalen Moore, who's a beast. Of course, he went to the freaking Chiefs, bastards. Elijah Mitchell also went to the Chiefs, and then Juszczyk, Hargrave, and Malik Collins, both defensive tackles. So they just absolutely. John Lynch just went through and said, we're paying too much money for everything. We didn't get a Super Bowl, so bye everybody. That's pretty much
crazy. Janina was real excited when she saw, because I had seen the report, and then I was getting ready, so I was coming out of the shower, and Janina's washing, and she goes, you'll be happy. I'm like, and I knew what she was going to say. I'm like, what? She goes, you finally got a BC guy. I said, here's the challenge. So we got Landry on the team. The problem is William Francis Corey is going to be circling like a fucking vulture for him to not do something right. And I'm going to hear about it every time he doesn't make a tackle, right? Because Harold Landry from Boston College, from Tennessee, who's now a Patriot. I said you have to remember, Rubber Shoes couldn't wait to tell me that Dean Letourneau had 32 games, 3 assists, and no goals. So if Harold Landry doesn't have a premier year, I'm probably never going to hear the end of it. Although I'm still very excited this year.
You take the tone of my text the wrong way.
Yeah, because you hurt me. You hurt me. They're hurtful words. It's all right.
They were talking about it on the radio, and I was like, oh, that because we were trying to figure out about him the week before. It doesn't mean he's not going to be better next year.
He'll fit in Vrabel's system. Let's go with that.
They're stacked. Defense, this is going to be like years ago, because there was the Bob Cousy effect for Tom Brady. Like, you expected 7 points every time Brady walked on the field. Field goals, and we had Vinatieri, which was just foolish riches that we had, right? An embarrassment of riches. The defense, no matter what we add offensively, I think, the defense will be more fun to watch this year.
Yeah,
so and you're also such an evil genius, and he's got all of his kids so far. Maybe, to your point, we get Abdul Carter. Dear Lord.
This is good for Drake May, because you're not looking for him to go out and score 30 points.
They're
going to keep the other teams under 20 most.
That shit show in Kansas City just got to a Super Bowl not scoring 30 points.
Yeah.
We won't have the assistance from the legal department with the NFL. Although, go ahead. You get your hand up. You don't have to raise your hand. You're on the show. You're the smartest one in the room. Go ahead. You can. Yep. Go ahead.
I was just thinking, actually, do they, and I know I mentioned it before, do they get Ashton JD from Boyd? If they do, right? Or if they package a deal to figure out something and they move down a little bit, they pick him up later. Wouldn't shock me. Think about like the resurgence of running back in the National Football League, especially this past year, and getting a defense like, ground and pound. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like get a really good defense. You got Drake May. You bring him along. You can still bring in some decent wide receivers that are still out there. I don't want to drop a ton of money on Stephon Diggs or somebody like that, but there's still some other players that are out there potentially, and there's still some second rounders or whatever. But you bring in Genty, and because look, I love Ramondre, but having Mondre, having
punch,
whatever, like you're gonna have that, and I feel like Vrabel will go 6 to midnight on that situation, and
1,000%.
He's already stacked his defensive
You know
side.
who was on the board yesterday, and I've been staring at whatever happened in sports all day today, but I didn't necessarily see his name go anywhere. Is Najee Harris still available?
No,
he signed. I forget who, but he's
back with the Steel, or he go elsewhere?
No, he went elsewhere.
He went to Nathan.
Hopefully, it's a team I want to cheer for. I love him.
Chargers.
Terrible.
He went to the Chargers.
Fucking terrible.
Nathan. Dude, you could ask Nathan anything. when it comes to football,
love
right
it.
There.
Love it.
Kids on top.
Football savant. Love it.
You have no idea.
Love it. 476 matches. 476 matches. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. All right. We think we're closing in on Adam's triumphant return. We're not sure. Rumor is basketball's landed. The job is regulated at this point, so we might get him back. He and Corey are stuck in hair and makeup. What?
It has been nice not talking about the WNBA and
my God. Well, we're going to talk about it next week.
3-on-3 league or whatever the hell that is.
Well, yeah, before we go real quick, we will talk about this next week. The fact that Angel Reese is saying that she wants NBA money.
She is so delusional.
She's wildly delusional. Yes. Yep. We'll get to it next week.
They're like, because they have a CBA is up after.
Yep. And she's all worked up. We're gonna
you realize the NBA is carrying you guys, right?
Yeah, funded by. What's fascinating is somebody said on the podcast she was on the other day, and I know she has her own show. I wasn't sure if it was hers, but I saw the snippet where she's like, the CBA is coming up. She goes, the kids coming in are going to be making more than us. And the other player was just like, yep. And I'm like, oh, God, here we go. Yeah. Here we go. But she did get her own burger at McDonald's, so that's exciting.
It's been like that for generations, man.
Yep.
That's
I almost got my dream come true. I was so excited when I started to read the article too fast. They showed there was a headshot of Donnie Wahlberg. He is going to be one of the backers to bring a WNBA team to Boston.
Really?
So I wanted him to be one of the knuckleheads to try to get a million Barneys from Southie together to get there. I'm going to drain my 401k. We're buying the Celtics. God damn it.
That would have been amazing.
87 of us and then Bezos. We'll get it done. It'll be great.
I do love.
We're going to need $5.
I love all the clips of Angel Reese and like.
She leads the league in rebounds. Yeah, all of her missed shots.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Oh my God. And then they're like, "Oh, I got the new Angel Reese meal at McDonald's," and they throw it into the trash and they miss.
Yes, perfect.
Well, they go to hand it to them, they drop it, they pick it back up. That's a part of the experience.
Her leading the league in rebounds is like me saying I lead our friend group in 3 putts. Like, yes, of course I do. Yeah. So anyway, all right. For the absent Adam and Corey stuck in hair and makeup. We'll be back at it next week. Not sure what day we're aiming for next week, but we'll discuss that off the air. We're back next week. For Scotty, for Rubber Shoes, and for myself and our dear friends Joe and Leslie at AAA Work Trucks, it is the ATB show. We'd love for you to subscribe and like and share and comment, and you can do that at atbshow.com. See you next week, boys.